You talked question marks then, Gerard. I've got a question mark for you, a question for you. How did Chris Judd get off?
Yes, I think if the AFL could appeal their own decision, they might be doing it this week. Look, Chris is very lucky to get off. I think that he was a frustrated boy on was it Saturday night?
Just a wrong decision, isn't it?
Where's the arm going there?
Well, it's an elbow to the cheekbone. And
yeah, and you know what the match review panel said?
Insufficient force.
Insufficient force. Now, what is sufficient force? What a sledgehammer. Pavlich has got a split under his eye with 5 clips in it.
I think he's lucky. He's lucky. But I think the more significant thing is that, as Gerard said, when he doesn't play well, Carlton don't play well. And they need to find... Because he can't play well every week, can't carry them over the line every week. But the way Fremantle stopped him getting out of the packs, and every time he went near the ball, whether it was legal or not, they were hanging on, and they just wouldn't let him get that run.
Yep.
I think that you have to give credit where credit's due to Fremantle for the tactics they employed, and to Adam McPhee. Even though Judd had his 30, they weren't the effective 30 that you would expect.
I think Juddy threw his arm back hoping it was Adam McPhee, actually.
He probably did.
Yeah.
And rightly so.
I mean, is that legal harassment?
Well, I didn't used to like it very much.
No,
and,
but there's no question of what you like. I mean, is that lawful?
It's on the borderline, I reckon. But you could, at the moment, the way the rules stand, yes, it's lawful.
One bloke wants to play footy and the other bloke wants to get in his head.
What are you going to pay a free kick for? What's the free kick? I'm not saying it's right, but what is the actual free kick? He's not holding them. He's not hitting him above the shoulders. He's just... I could do it a bit harder. But he's just...
Sorry, Mike.
That's a heinous
4 weeks.
Still kicking in football.
Insufficient force. He's got 2 good scalps in a row, though, Adam McPhee. We've got to give him some credit for reinventing himself. Hayes and now Judd.
I mean, I don't know that he beat Judd. I mean, Judd still had 30, and it was very much a team. It was a team, the way they went about him. I mean, Judd tried to get onto Pavlich to try and get away from McPhee, and Pavlich probably didn't have the impact he normally does either. A
lot of people, I think, had written off the Dockers as the top 4. They have a big win, come back. I know you're still on, Mike, and it was noted on the plane yesterday with a lot of Dockers supporters. Let's take a look at the ladder and ask the question, who, in fact, is going to make the top 4? You've got Geelong and St Kilda still to play, and I think most people accept that they're in. Then it gets interesting. Fremantle, Collingwood, if they win on the weekend, they're 9 and a draw, so they're right up there. And the Western Bulldogs, who are certainly coming, in my view.
I think if it were my guess, Gerard, I would say it's Fremantle and the Western Bulldogs for the other spot in the top 4.
Are you discounting the Swans and Hawthorn, who are still only 1 game away from the Dogs?
Yes, I am. My view about the top 4 is it's a 5-way race.
The next 4 weeks are very important. The Bulldogs have got a tough... They've got the Hawks, Carlton, Port and Freo over the next 4 weeks, whereas Freo have got Port, Richmond, Melbourne, Dogs, West Coast, North Sydney, Carlton. I mean, they could legitimately win 6 of those games and be right up in 15-game win territory, which is an amazing season.
But the Bulldogs are starting to find their rhythm, aren't they? Still need a big scalp, but they just are looking better as the season unfolds.
Yeah, and lots of reasons for that. But I think when you look at the Dockers, Mike, it's that forward efficiency that's their greatest strength. It's what's turned them around, their forward pressure and their efficiency once you go inside the circle.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Geelong obviously on top, but the Fremantle percentage of goals once inside 50 at 30.5 is an excellent result down Adelaide, right down the bottom. But you're right about Carlton. I mean, that surprises me with Carlton on that result, because that certainly wasn't the case on Saturday night.
What about BT's favourite son, Michael Barlow? Mike, you were around when Hayden Button won a couple of Brownlows in his first 2 years, but this kid just keeps, like Podsy Ardley, just keeps getting better and better.
He does. Well, look, they're both amazing stories.
Yeah,
and neither of them have tailed off. I reckon the cynic and all of us said that they might tail off, but there is, we've seen them a third line of Brownlow betting at $9. Now, that's and ahead of Brendan Goddard.
It started at 1,001.
Yep.
And you probably could have written a better ticket if you had wanted one.
Look, I think the issue with Barlow, and it also impacts who we watch him here, he's just so poised, isn't he, for a bloke playing 10 or 12 games of AFL footy?
It's no accident either. His work rate is outstanding, and he also gets... This is a goal here that reads off the pack. Probably should have given the handball, but kicks his 4th. He's often on the right side of the pack. He reads the ball so well, and his disposal, which I think was a bit of a knock for him, is very, very good. So
his stats show that 1 in 3 possessions end up in a chain towards goal.
And often someone's style or the way the ball floats, people say he's not a good kick. But if 1 in 3 of his possessions cause a goal, that's saying that effective disposal is huge for him. You know, Gary Ablett right up there. And what we're looking at here is average disposals and goals. So getting the ball and kicking goals, 28.1, 14 goals. You know, only Ablett and Chapman have kicked more goals as a running midfielder, which is pretty outstanding.
Again, that's my criticism of Juddy. You don't see him on those lists, and he should be there.
It's pretty hard when you've got 8 blokes holding on to each arm.
The midfielders, theoretically, I mean, Ablett gets plenty of attention.
Yeah, but I reckon Ablett gets looked after better by his teammates than Judd does. But this is Barlow's top disposals in the first 12 games, and you look at Barlow there on top 337. Greg Williams was a fair player, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
He would argue, Diesel, I'm sure, that there was 250 possessions back when he was playing, and now there's 400. But you could also throw in the argument that Barlow spends probably a significant time off the ground with your favourite thing in footy, Mike, rotations.
Yeah, well, that's true. The Brownlow thing's interesting to me. I don't know whether the umpires will vote him or not. He's up against Sandilands, who a lot of us think can win the medal. Pavlich, who's got to get a lot of votes. Now, it's a question of which way the umpires go. I reckon there's a trend with umpires. If he gets early votes, I think he'll poll really
his
well.
His first 3 or 4 weeks are the crucial for him because they'll go...
If they know him.
Who was that bloke?
Yeah, exactly.
As we all did.
Yeah.
Well, if they listen to BT, he's across the line because he certainly has...
He adopts a few BT, doesn't he?
He does.
Where would Barlow rank with Leon Davis, do you think?
Favourite sons, Mike.